It's Wednesday. Let's talk CrossFit. And intervals and running and all the things. Question of the day, out of the gate. You're gonna go for I'm talking like it's a warm up. Here's the question. If you could move anywhere and you didn't have to pay for it, where would you move to? This is courtesy of Dad Bod, the man, the myth, the legend. Where would I go? That is tough. Oregon would be dope. All right, warm up. You're gonna put on a song. It's called Black Betty. Things you can do during this song: jump rope, planks, whatever, something to pass the time, because then every time they say Black Betty, do a burpee. Also note that they say Black Betty like real close together. There's like little couplets, so if you don't make it to the second burpee, like it's fine. You have to do really fast burpees for a lot of that song. But play around with it, get warm, have some fun, listen to some good tunes. That'll take us to some mobility work. You're gonna do that same pass through. So 10 pass throughs, nice and methodical, real slow with like a belt or a dowel rod or a towel, whatever that is. Get your shoulders nice and primed. Also note, this is very similar to a shoulder car, but now you are stabilized through the plane that's connecting your hands. So this is like a nice thing to couple, especially like the day before or the day after with those shoulder cars. That's why we're doing it. All right. Handstand practice. Here's what you're gonna do. 2 sets of at least or up to 30 seconds of a wall facing handstand hold. So pop up there, make sure you can see the clock or you set a timer. I like to set mine between my hands ever so slightly, so then I don't have to like arch my back in this obnoxious position to see the clock. Or just a pike hold, so you can put your feet up on the couch and then still get into that inverted position for that 30 seconds. After you do that, 30 seconds of scap push-up. So get into your push-up position, rock through some scapular disassociation from the shoulder joint and the elbow. Run through that 2 times. Cool. Let's talk intervals and then format. So if you guys want to do the running, so if you've been on that and you've been going to the track, I would do either or. The running workout today is very, very intense. I'll get to that later, but I would just pick one because that's a lot of time on the feet. That's a lot of volume. Let's talk the intervals. For the format, you're gonna do an on the 5 minute times 3 sets. So just 1 round every 5 minutes. You're gonna go 400 meter run, 20 seated pike up and overs or toes to bar. With the seated pike up and overs, those are gonna be the same piked compressions, but you're just gonna pick an object and go side to side. So 20 alternating of those, or if you've got a bar, rock out some toes to bar. Into 10 to 20 push-ups or a dumbbell shoulder to overhead or some object shoulder to overhead, getting some more overhead pressing. When you get done with that, check your clock, see where you finished. At 5 minutes, you're gonna do it again. At 10 minutes, you're gonna do it again. Once you get done with that 3rd round, you're gonna rest for an additional 3 minutes, okay? So you're gonna go at 15 minutes, you're definitely done, and then at 18 minutes, you'll go again and repeat that whole thing for 3 more times. Cool. Your score for that is just gonna be each round, looking for consistency. That's gonna take us into some shoulder and hip mobility. So we've got 3 rounds of this. This is a relatively, it's 9 minutes worth of mobility. So put on a running clock, 60 seconds of a prone W hold. You can do this with soup cans or a light dumbbell or nothing really. It doesn't really matter if you're just trying to find that position of really raising and squeezing the shoulder blades together and up. That's gonna feel lovely. And then you're gonna roll over into a quadruped position and you're gonna go for 60 seconds worth of quadruped unilateral hip extensions. It's a donkey kick, just do methodical donkey kicks. What I would do for this, I like to put my brain to my gluteus maximus, and I really think about it squeezing. That way I'm not just arching my lower back and dropping my chest towards the floor. I really want this to be a hamstring and glute movement for you guys. So don't go super fast. Think about the muscles that you're using, back of leg and the butt. And then once that's up, you've got 60 seconds of a quadruped fire hydrant. This is very similar, but now it's just out to the side. It's called a fire hydrant because that's where dogs go to the bathroom. With this one, I would think about leading with the heel. And so you're almost gonna hit an internal rotation. So try to keep your knee somewhat down as you initiate the movement, okay? We don't want to open up into external rotation for this. We'll get a little bit more work out of that, keeping the knee down and slightly internally rotated. But same idea, slow, methodical, just piecing through a hip controlled articular rotation or a hip car. Go through that 3 rounds and your hips are going to thank you and your shoulders are going to thank you. Let's talk about the track. We got a sprint workout. You've got 5 rounds of a 200-meter jog, easy run, into a 100-meter sprint, okay? Once you get done, you're gonna take at least 3 minutes. I want this to be a full rest so that you can hit each one really, really, really hard, okay? To get the most out of sprint work, you need that longer rest to let the nervous system recharge and reboot. It becomes a very different workout as you start to get into like a 90-second or 60 seconds or 5 rounds of 300 meters for time, so on and so forth. So other thing I want to say is make sure that the running start, so that 200-meter jog is a 200-meter jog. There should be a very distinct difference between what you do from 0 to 200 and 200 to that 300-meter mark, okay? Cool. That's going to be the track workout and all of the things for today.